Characteristics of linear relations. So a reminder that our horizontal intercept is x and its coordinates are x and 0. The vertical intercept is y and its coordinates are 0 and y. Determine the x and y intercept for the following function. So this time, instead of being given the graph, what we're given is that linear relation in terms of an equation. And we need to find the x-intercept and then the y-intercept. In order to find the x-intercept, we know that that x-intercept is going to have the coordinates of x and 0. Therefore, what we're going to do is let y equal 0 in our equation. So we end up with 2x plus, and instead of y, we put in 0 equals 10, and we now need to solve this. If we're adding 0, that means that that's really not there, and we have 2x equals 10. We can divide both sides by 2, and we find out that x is 5. So our intercept is the point 5, 0. To find the y-intercept, we're going to use the fact that we know that the coordinates at that point are going to be 0 and some y value. And so this time, we're going to substitute in 0 for x. So now we have 2 times 0 plus y equals 10. Well, 2 times 0 is just 0, and we're left with y equals 10. And so the y-intercept for this graph would be 0 and 10. Determine the x and y-intercept for the following function. So same idea, just some more practice. So let's start with our x-intercept. Reminder that x-intercept is going to be x and 0, so we have to put 0 in for y. So 4x minus 5 times 0 equals 20. 5 times 0 is 0, so that's gone. And we're left with 4x equals 20. To get the x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 4, and we end up with x being equal to 5. Means that our x-intercept is 5, 0. Our y-intercept will be of the form 0 and y. So this time we're going to put 0 in for x. So it's 4, and instead of x we have 0, minus 5y equals 20. Again, 4 times 0 is 0, so that's gone, leaving us with 5y equals 20. To get the y by itself, we're going to divide both sides by negative 5, and we end up with a y value of negative 4. The point then is the point 0, negative 4, for our y-intercept. Determine the x and y-intercept of the following. This equation is a little bit different because all of our terms are on the left-hand side, but the process is still the same. To find the x-intercept, we know that it is going to be x and 0, so we're going to put 0 in for y. So negative 2x plus 3 times 0 minus 12 equals 0. 3 times 0 is 0, so that is gone, leaving us with 2x minus 12 equals 0. To solve this linear equation, we need to get the numbers on one side, variables on the other. So we can add 12 to both sides to move it over, leaving us with negative 2x equals 12. Divide both sides by negative 2. Gives us an x value of negative 6. So our x-intercept then is negative 6 and 0. To find the y-intercept is going to be 0 and y. So this time we're putting 0 in for x. So negative 2 times 0 plus 3y minus 12 equals 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. So we now have 3y subtract 12 equals 0. We want to move that 12 to the other side, so we're going to add 12 to both sides. Gives us 3y equals positive 12. Divide both sides by 3, and we have y equals 4. So our y-intercept is located at 0, 4. Last question for today. Determine the x and y-intercept for the following function, y equals 2x minus 7. So all of these questions today have been similar. They've just started with our equations in slightly different forms. So to find our x-intercept, we know that it's going to be something in 0. So put 0 in for y, and then solve our equation for x. To solve that for x, we need to move the negative 7, so we're adding 7 to both sides. We have 7 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and we get 3.5 equals x. So our intercepts do not always have to be equal to whole numbers. Sometimes they're going to equal decimals or fractions. Our coordinates for our x-intercept then are going to be 3.5 and 0. For our y-intercept, we know it's going to look something like 0 and y. So we're going to put 0 in for x this time. So we have y equals 2 times 0 minus 7. 2 times 0 is 0. So we end up with y equals negative 7, and we don't have any further simplifying to do on this side. So our y-intercept is 0, negative 7.